Alright, so first things first, I'm splitting this into two groups, the continuing series and the new series, and I'm speedrunning the fuck out of this because I don't think anyone wants to see me rant about how I owe thousands of dollars to my credit card company to fill my addiction of adult mangas. Or maybe you do. Let's just start it off with Jujutsu Kaisen, in my opinion, is one of this generation's big three of Shonen Jump. Big three as in, like, you have One Piece, you got Naruto, you got Bleach, and now I believe the big three now for Shonen Jump is Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, and My Hero Academia. Even though I don't like My Hero Academia that much, I can still consider it the big three. It has everything. It got great action, great world building, and most importantly, it's built on its characters. I can't say that I hate a single character, well, other than a villain. And this is shown with the latest arc, the Shibuya arc. I know this arc finished in the Shonen Jump app, but the publishing volumes are still on the arc. And I am going to give a little spoiler warning for this arc, so if you want, you can skip to this timestamp here. But this arc is probably one of the greatest arcs I've read so far. The amount of drama and action in these past volumes are just insane. As like almost every character in the show has something to do in this arc. There's so many deaths, there's so much action, so much is insane. I can't wait to catch up and finish this arc. And if you want to hear my opinion of the series as a whole, you can watch my reading challenge video here. Black Clover as a whole is very Shonen Jump. Like I said in other manga haul videos or just any other videos where I talk about Black Clover is a series that knows it's a Shonen Jump series. They have a ton of cliches and tropes that many of the series from Shonen Jump have, but it just fits perfectly, and I consider it one of my favorite animes of all time just because of that. Just because they do it so well. Even though I am caught up on the Shonen Jump app, I do want to collect all of the volumes. And without mentioning spoilers for the current arc that's happening right now, just know that the next two volumes that are going to be published are going to blow the minds of Black Clover anime only fans. A very controversial series this is. A lot of people don't like this series because of what they did in the anime, but it also happens in the manga as well. I won't spoil anything for the people that actually do want to read or watch. Honestly, for me, it was still pretty good though. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, it's built on its characters. Like, you're supposed to grow an attachment to these characters, and I did. The actual plot and story was pretty good. The villains were good. The action was great. Plus, the manga and anime have two different endings, but the beginning, middle, and a bit of the end, I think, are still the same. Plus, the first volume was like my third or fourth manga like ever, so the series does have a special place in my heart, you know. Plus, I heard the ending was a little bit better, so I'll just have to wait and see until I reach it. Honestly, with this series, I've just been making the same joke that the reading challenge for Kami Can Communicate is gonna be like a kick in the fucking balls every time I buy a new volume. Like, I fell in love with this series when Netflix like animated it and successfully made a good adaptation. I'm fucking looking at you, Death Note. I rewatched and finished this anime 3 times, so like with my manga addictive brain, like I had to collect every single one like it was a fucking Pokemon. But I had this stupid ass idea to make it into a reading challenge, and to this day I still haven't done it. There's not much I can say for this series. Like, this series is basically like every romantic comedy. Like, they all have the same wholesome and cute formula that it's known for, but like just added with a little twist or element that would like make it unique. Like, it's either a rented girlfriend or quintuplet sisters or like a bully, but this one just has like a tall girl with a short guy. So like this series is pretty relatable with my fucking short ass. If you guys like wholesome cute series, then I suggest you guys check this out, because I honestly really like it, even though it is basically every single romantic comedy manga anime thing. Yes. Finally, I've finally finished collecting every single volume of my first manga series, the series that started this journey, the series that made me the man who I am today. Spending all of my hard labor money from your local Burger King built up for this day, the day that I finished collecting Chainsaw Man. The ending was alright though. Alright, moving on. Remember what I said about Hitomi-chan is shy with strangers? Yeah, you could technically say the same thing with this. But this stars Rei from Promised Neverland and Toga from My Hero Academia just as a vampire. And it does seem interesting and different, where the romance is based on this emo kid named Ko wanting to be a Cardi fan, trying to fall in love with this goth chick to try to be like her. Now, I am gonna go into spoiler territory, so if you guys want to not get spoiled, you could always go to this timestamp right here. So at first it does seem like it's going to be like a pretty obvious story, like you could see where it's leading up to, where boy likes girl and then girl doesn't like the boy but is slowly starting to like him kind of way. But it does take a turn around the middle part of the volume, where it starts talking about the difference between love and desire, and then you can slowly see how Ko is trying to force himself to love this girl just to get what he wants, basically. And then you have the third wheeler coming in, and Ko doesn't even know like what to think or how to feel about her. And then is also the discussion of Ko thinking that Nanakusa is using him for blood, but you could also say the same thing of him trying to use her to become a vampire. And it is very interesting how like these perspectives like clash. I did say how it is pretty similar to Hitomi-chan in the beginning, but honestly this is 10 times more constructive compared to all the other romance comedies here. And I don't even think you can call this a romance comedy. I think this is just a romance drama. But honestly, I am very excited to see the anime that is coming out, and I definitely recommend this series to people that like romance, that like drama, and to people that also enjoy Twilight. So I was recommended this 23-minute analysis video on Blood on the Tracks by this YouTuber called Super Eye Patched Wolf. I didn't want to watch the whole thing because midway through the video I actually just wanted to read the series. Plus it was made by the same creator of Happiness, which was the first series that I completed collecting. The first volume really reminded me of the first volume of Black Butler, where basically the first couple of chapters it doesn't really show any of the main plot or any of the main storyline, and it's just a bunch of safe content until it reaches the final 2 chapters where shit just goes batshit crazy. And I'm not gonna spoil what happens at the end of this volume. I suggest you guys experience this blind. Overall, it's a very interesting start to a pretty cool psychological horror series, and also I do recommend that you guys check out this guy's video. To end this off, I have to talk about my new favorite manga ever, and I've heard so many YouTubers talk about how this series is considered a masterpiece. how brutal and emotional it could be. And I'm talking about Goodnight Pompon. From finishing this, they're absolutely fucking right. It took me a couple days to read this manga. I read it at school, during lunch breaks at work, and after I got home from like a long day of work. For me, this was the best way to read this series, because even though this series can be light-hearted and comedic at times, it is still an emotional story about a kid growing up in harsh conditions and seeing his perspective of the world at his age. Usually they'll like write these kinds of stories off with like two parents just fucking dying in an alleyway or just growing up like super alone, but for how goofy it looks, it does tell a very realistic story that many may find very relatable. And this story about a weirdly drawn bird has stuck with me more than any of the mangas that I've read in the past 2 or 3 years. And this is just the first volume. I definitely recommend Goodnight Pompon to anybody who enjoys really weird, silly, but also great storytelling. And that's the end of this video, guys. Oh, but wait, I feel like we're missing something. Oh yeah, we got the stats, baby. Let's fucking go, the stats. Woo! Let's fucking count those numbers and shit, yeah. Alright, so according to this spreadsheet, I spent over $104 on 9 books this month. I read every single book except the Kami Can Communicate volume. That's it. There you go. This is the real ending of the video. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more manga or gaming content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.